It's been about 3 months since neighbors in an Oak Creek subdivision found coal dust covering their homes and cars. We Energies uses the coal to fuel its nearby power plant.
Now, when dust blew off one of the piles, the company pledged to make changes.
New tonight, Pete Zervakis goes inside to see what steps have been taken.
This is the largest of 3 coal piles at the We Energies site in Oak Creek.
We have about 460,000 tons on it right now.
The coal arrives by train up to 11 times a week. Most of it goes right to fueling the plant.
Coal is to us what food is to you and me.
Exactly.
Most of the extra is stored outdoors, and unlike the 2 smaller piles, the biggest pile is now green.
Actually, he's putting it on right there.
Workers are coating it with a mixture of chemicals and recycled paper, a hardened crust that will stand up against rain and wind. It's a recent change to prevent dust on the coal from blowing away.
We are not using this pile for the foreseeable future.
According to the company, foreseeable future means until no dust is leaving this site.
Is that the first time that happened in terms of a neighbor complaining about coal dust?
Certainly to that magnitude.
Back in March, we showed you the layer of black dust neighbors found on their cars and in their yards. They still remember it.
I think it's a pretty big problem.
And worry about breathing it in. Any health concerns?
Well, yeah, you don't want to be breathing that in if you don't have to.
We Energies says strong winds, about 40 miles per hour, were to blame. Greg Millard, who we first spoke to on March 5th, fears it could happen again.
We're confident we're going to get more before the end of summer.
We Energies says it's fixing the problem. The company has already changed its guidelines for when operations at the Oak Creek site stop due to wind. They're now stricter for all coal piles on the site than the requirements of the air permit.
At about 20 miles an hour wind speed, we would curtail operations on the coal piles.
What's the cutoff now?
Right now it's in the 13 to 15 mile per hour range. It depends on the wind direction.
The company also keeps the coal piles wet. Each one is doused with these rain birds every 2 hours to minimize dust. We Energies also pledged to extend this berm between the coal pile and the impacted neighborhood and install a new air monitor in the same general area.
It's on order. We hope to have it sited, installed, and operational by the end of the summer.
Just to the north, some neighbors are encouraged.
I think they can correct the problem. It's just going to take a little time and money.
Greg is not. He says the improvements sound great, but he's withholding judgment until he sees them working.
We just don't want to be breathing this stuff anymore.
At a community town hall in Oak Creek earlier this year, a local allergist said there's no definite link showing that coal dust causes long-term health problems, but he said the dust can be a problem for people with existing conditions like asthma or respiratory infections.
All right, Pete, thanks. Well, it was a